Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today, Mrs. Smith. It has been a pleasure teaching Scott's second grade class and seeing his reading skills develop. I know Scott has enjoyed being in your class and working with you. How is he doing in reading? At the beginning of the year, Scott was still at a first grade reading level and had not yet reached where we wanted him to be. However, as the semester has gone on, I have seen improvement and am pleased to say he has reached a beginning second grade reading level. That's great to hear. Thanks for letting me know his progress. How have you been monitoring where Scott is at? I have done several assessments with Scott, 5 to be exact. The first assessment was phonemic awareness, and he performed relatively well here. He just struggled a bit with rhyming and singling out word endings. Instead of just saying the last sounds of the word, he would say the entire end of the word. For example, if asked to say the last sound you hear in the word hop, he would say op instead of p. The phonics assessment was next, and he excelled in the first part but struggled when it came to multisyllabic words. We had not yet covered these, so this result was expected. It was a nonsense word test, and even though he was told these weren't real words, he tried making them into words he knew. When testing fluency, Scott is right at the second grade level. He made minimal mistakes and was aware whenever he did make a mistake and automatically corrected himself. Again with vocabulary, Scott was right on grade level. He knew all but one of the first grade vocab words, and same with the second grade words. The third grade words were hard for him, but again, this is understandable. One thing I did notice here, though, was that it was hard for him to define words without using the word itself in the definition. Comprehension was the final assessment, and this was where I saw Scott have a more difficult time. The reading was not much of a struggle, but when I was asking him to recall, he had little to tell me. It took me a long time and a lot of prompting questions to get him to tell me what the story was about. Focus is difficult for him, I've noticed. Research shows us that comprehension is the accumulation of all of the prior tested reading strategies. Continuing to work with Scott in these other areas such as phonemes and phonics practice can help Scott get more comfortable reading and make it less taxing so he can focus on the content. Is there anything I can do at home to assist Scott? Areas I would focus on with Scott would be phonemic awareness, vocabulary, and comprehension. When it comes to phonemic awareness, you can use words that you see around you. Say them aloud and ask Scott if he can think of rhyming words. You could even make a game out of it for the whole family. Vocabulary is hard for some kids, but Scott knows the words that he should. It's just hard to establish a definition for them. I would practice articulating definitions without using the word itself. Again, maybe just finding words in your house or in the store and asking what it means. When it comes to comprehension, this does have a great deal of reading, but what you can do is to ask Scott after he read or after he was read to, what was the story about? What do you remember? Try and get him in the habit of thinking about the text while reading. I will focus on that here at school as well. I can do that. What are practices you do in class to help out with this? Foundations is always a large part of our day where we recognize word patterns and practice spelling. This will improve Scott's phonemic awareness and phonics skills. We are also always reading at some point in the day, and I will continue to ask questions and be sure we talk about being focused readers. I will reiterate the fact that when we're reading, we should think that we might be asked questions about the text later, so try and remember what we're reading. That sounds great. Thank you. No problem. Thank you for coming. Scott is a wonderful student, and it's a pleasure to have him in my class.
Created using Powtoon.